dawn. 1604. 70 men, archers, assassins, and the heir of Japan's greatest sword school wait in the dark. One mass comes, Miyamoto Musashi. How does a single samurai walk into a massacre and leave as only one standing? "61 duels, not a single defeat. But the greatest test wasn't one man, it was 70. How do you beat an army alone?" Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584 in Harima Province, a time of war when Japan's great warlords were tearing the country apart. His father, Shinmen Munisai, was a renowned martial artist. Musashi grew up watching men train, fight, and die. By the time he was a teenager, he had already made a decision. He would dedicate his entire life to understanding the way of the sword. His first duel came at age 13. A traveling warrior named Arima Kihei posted a challenge in the village, an open invitation for any who dared to fight. Young Musashi accepted. The adults tried to stop him. He fought anyway and won, beating the experienced warrior to the ground with a wooden stick. It was the first of 61. He was barely a teenager. Over the next decade, Musashi wandered Japan as a Musha Shugyo, a warrior on a pilgrimage of self-improvement through combat. He challenged and defeated samurai after samurai, developing a philosophy as sharp as his blade. The true mastery means winning before the fight even begins. Strategy, psychology, timing. These were his real weapons. In 1604, Musashi arrived in Kyoto, the cultural capital of Japan, and home to the most prestigious sword school in the country, the Yoshioka clan. They had served as sword instructors to the Ashikaga shoguns for generations. Their reputation was without equal. Musashi challenged them directly, by name, in public. It was either supreme confidence or madness. The head of the Yoshioka school, Yoshioka Seijiro, accepted. They met at Rendaiji Temple at dawn. Musashi arrived late, deliberately. He knew that making his opponent wait would corrode focus and breed anger. Seijiro was furious by the time Musashi appeared. The duel lasted seconds. Musashi struck once, crippling Seijiro's sword arm. The school's master was defeated. But this was only the beginning. The Yoshioka clan could not accept such humiliation. Seijiro's younger brother, Denshichiro, demanded a rematch to restore the family's honor. Musashi agreed. They met at Sanjusan Gendo Temple. Again, Musashi arrived late, deliberately disrupting his opponent's composure. Again, the duel was swift and decisive. Denshichiro was killed. Two of Japan's greatest sword masters, defeated by the same wandering ronin. The Yoshioka clan was now leaderless, disgraced, and consumed by revenge. They declared one final challenge, a duel at Ichijoji at dawn. But this time, there would be no duel. They brought 70 armed men, swordsmen, archers hidden in the trees, assassins. The nominal opponent was Yoshioka Shichiro, a child. The real plan was simple. Surround Musashi and kill him before he could strike.
Musashi arrived before dawn, 3 hours early this time. He had studied the trap. He knew exactly where the archers were positioned, and he knew that the only way to end the Yoshioka clan forever was to kill the child heir. He charged without hesitation. He cut down Shichiro before the ambush could close, then turned to face the warriors flooding in from all sides.
The Yoshioka warriors fought with fury and numbers, but Musashi had broken their plan the moment he killed Shichiro. The heir was gone, the school's future extinguished. Without leadership or purpose, the attack fractured. Musashi cut through the confusion, wounding and killing until the survivors scattered into the forest. He walked away alone. The Yoshioka school, centuries old, ceased to exist that morning. The fall of the Yoshioka school sent a shockwave through Japan's martial world. Musashi, still in his early 20s, had dismantled the most prestigious sword tradition in the country. His name spread from Kyoto to Edo. Masters who once ignored him now sought him out, some to learn, some to test themselves. He accepted challenges from all of them. He lost none. Through his 30s, Musashi continued to refine his signature technique, Niten Ichi Ryu, the school of 2 heavens as one. Fighting with a long sword in one hand and a short sword in the other was considered unorthodox, even dishonorable by some. Musashi cared nothing for convention. He cared only for what worked. His 2-sword style became feared across Japan. In 1612, he fought his most famous duel against the spearmaster Sasaki Kojuro on the island of Ganryujima. As we explored in our previous episode, Musashi arrived deliberately late, carved a wooden sword from an oar on the boat, and killed Kojuro with a single strike. That duel marked the peak of his fighting career. He was 28 years old, and he had won 61 duels without a single defeat.
After Ganryujima, Musashi made a decision that surprised everyone. He stopped dueling. Not because he feared defeat, but because he realized the endless cycle of challenge and combat had taken him as far as it could. True mastery, he concluded, had nothing to do with killing. It was about understanding the nature of conflict itself. He put away his swords and picked up a brush. In his final years, Musashi retreated to Reigando Cave on Kyushu Island. He had served lords, fought battles, and built a legacy in combat. Now he meditated, painted, and wrote. He produced extraordinary ink paintings and sculptures, works of art that reveal the same stillness and precision that made him lethal in combat. The sword and the brush, he said, were the same path.
In 1645, just weeks before his death, Musashi completed his masterwork, the Book of Five Rings, Go-Rin no Sho. It was not a manual of sword technique. It was a philosophy of strategy, applicable to any form of conflict. Earth, water, fire, wind, void. Win by reading the ground. Win by adapting. Win by disrupting. Win by knowing your enemy's rhythm. And ultimately, win by emptying your mind of all attachment to winning. What made Musashi unbeatable? Not strength. Many stronger men fell to him. Not speed. He often arrived late. The answer was simpler and stranger. Musashi had no fear of death, no attachment to victory, and no investment in his opponent's opinion of him. He studied conflict the way a scientist studies nature. Every duel was a problem to be solved before it began. By the time the fight started, it was already over. Musashi died in 1645 at the age of 61. He never lost a duel. He never commanded an army or ruled a province. He left behind no great fortune. What he left behind was a way of thinking about conflict, about mastery, about the relationship between action and stillness that has influenced martial artists, business strategists, and philosophers for 4 centuries and counting. Next time on Samurai Chronicles, the man who almost unified Japan a generation before Tokugawa. He burned monasteries, executed nobles, and rewrote every rule of power. Oda Nobunaga, the Demon King.
If Musashi's story inspired you, subscribe to Samurai Chronicles for a new episode every day. Drop a comment below. Which of Musashi's 61 duels do you want us to cover in depth? We'll see you in the next battle.